Welcome to PM Express Business Edition. I know it's one of the major challenges that workers out there, and even those who are earning or doing something out there, are battling to deal with. You build, rent, or what are the options available for you to own your home today in Ghana? That is what we're trying to get some answer this evening on PM Express Business Edition, leading up to the Joy News Habitat Fair as we talk about everything building in Ghana today. I'll be engaging the Executive Director at Elegant Homes and also the Head of Advantage Banking at EcoBank Ghana PLC. These will be my guests as we try to get some answers on the options that are available to you as a worker out there, as someone out there, as to whether you build, you buy, or you rent in trying to own your home today in Ghana. My name is Georgia. We'll be right back after this break. Welcome back to PM Express Business Edition as we try to deal with one of the most challenging issues that one person has to deal with growing up as a young person and even depending on the income that you're earning as an individual. Do you go for the option of building your own house, looking at renting, or what do you do in owning a house in Ghana today? That is what we are trying to get some answers on PM Express Business Edition as part of events leading to a Habitat Fair at the Accra International Conference Center. And two partners that are on board this program are also joining us in studio here for PM Express. The Head of Advantage Banking at EcoBank, Mr. Wobble, and also Madam the Executive Director at Elegance Home. Thank you, lady and gentlemen, and welcome to PM Express. But let me start first with the Executive Director at Elegant Homes. I mean, there's always a concern that these real estate houses, they are so expensive. Why? I mean, someone like me, I've already been priced out, and some have seen that your target might be those in the diaspora.
That's not the case. The target market is here. In fact, for Elegant Homes, we are mostly into the middle-income, luxurious properties. That's what we do.
The way that interests me there is the luxurious, because, sorry, I just interrupted. Then it means that I can't afford your home. I'm already priced out. No. The middle to lower income can't approach you.
They can in a way, because if you thinking of buying or building, you see, a lot goes into building your own home. As much as you might think that, building my own home, I'll save some money.
Yeah.
It also comes with its own challenges. Let's say if you want to build, the first option is land acquisition.
Yeah.
How are lands acquired in Ghana? Are you prepared to go in for a land with land guards? You know how are you going to secure the land? Yeah. You get it. When you are able to secure your land and you want to build, normally you want to start incrementally. So you build at a certain space. So you build within your own time. Yeah. You are not pressed with time. Now, you can also decide to move into your home without completely finishing it. That's one thing, that's one advantage that you have if you want to build your own home. Now, you have to put together professionals, architects, engineers, and then artisans and all.
Those are costs.
Yes,
costs that you may have to deal with that.
Exactly.
A real estate coming in might help. But even before you explain all these things to me, another thing I want to get some clarity on is how challenging is it for you as real estate developers in the land acquisition process and the light title and the deeds and all those things. It's one of the biggest headache that most of you people in this space are facing. Do I get it right?
Yeah, it is in a way. But you know, when it's a corporate body, you want to do your due diligence, you want to go through the process. And so once you are able to go through the process, then comes with its own cost of the infrastructure, which is very, very difficult. One, you need to make sure you have the roads, you have the water, electricity, you have the drains and all that. And all these things are being funded from your own resources. Sometimes you might even have to go for a loan to cater for all
this. From EcoBank.
To cater for all this.
Yeah.
You get before the rampant increase in building materials and all that. So all these are what contributes to the pricing of estates. sometimes it's very daunting. You get it. But as much as you want to build, you can build. But you also don't forget of the loopholes that comes with building your own house. As much as there are some advantages, there are also the disadvantages of putting up your own home. As I started, you need to acquire the land acquisition, we know, problems here and there.
But I get from you that coming from a real estate firm like yours, are you able to weather the storm in terms of those challenges? Because it is, how, I mean, not to share your secrets here with us, but how are you guys getting around this challenge? Because it appears that you get a land and there are about 10 people that own that land. And to get this house honored, to ensure that, I mean, I can speak about East Legon, but I'll mention the names where there's a huge estate there, that there are serious fights going over the ownership. There was a court development that's issued that said that no, they don't own the land any longer, and all those issues. That is quite disturbing.
Yeah, it's very disturbing, but as I said, you need to do your due diligence as a company, and then even if it takes for you to buy from two families, you need to make sure that you settle both amicably before you can move. And then for us at Elegant Homes, we don't move to a land when we don't have that title. We make sure all the bottlenecks and everything is dealt with before we proceed.
Let me bring in Mr. Wobble at head of Western, head of Advantage Banking at EcoBank. I mean, when I think EcoBank, and sorry for my uneducated perception, I think about merchant banking, I think about universal banking, I think about investment banking, but home financing. Tell me more about the strength of EcoBank in that space.
Yes, thank you. Yes, I think your perception is way back a couple of...
EcoBank of old.
EcoBank
there's
of
EcoBank
old,
PLC.
Yes, EcoBank in the early days. Today, EcoBank, we are account holders. We are holding accounts for thousands of Ghanaians from all streams of income, from all sorts of walks of life, from your students to your pensioner to your worker.
To the prestige clients,
yes,
the high net worth
to the high net worth clients, to the middle income, to the low income. And I would say that in line with your topic, it's also very important. The advice we would give is that when it comes to either you are putting up your own building, as in you are building, you are renting, or you are buying up front, it's very important that nobody feels pressured. You need to understand your financial circumstances at a point in time. You need to know your goals, how you intend your finances. That should educate you as to the option to go. It's very important that nobody feels pressured that I need to own a house at all costs. I need to buy at all costs. There are times when you may need to...
If you don't buy, how would Elegant Homes be making some good money to reinvest in the space of real estate business? Because
yes, but the point is you need to look at the time. The timing is also very important because, of course, Elegant Homes won't also want you to come and make a down payment and then you are unable to proceed because you make your down payment, you came to EcoBank, they did the assessment and told you, look, this is going to tie you up because when it comes to mortgages, we are looking at your debt service ratio because we are looking at how much of your income is going to go into paying.
Help me some education here in terms of the mortgage. And let's take a young graduate or somebody who's worked for about 5-10 years earning about maybe 12,000 or maybe 15,000 Ghana cedis. What are the options available for that individual to go through the route of mortgage financing to get a house from Elegant Homes?
Yes. So as I mentioned, for a young person who has done his assessment, his financial assessment, and he says, I want to do this. I don't want to rent. I want to go straight into acquiring a property so I don't have to pay rent in the coming years. It's good. He's done his assessment. He thinks he's in a capacity to do that.
But the bank will still have that final assessment. I mean, I might make that assessment, but I also have to come to
exactly.
That's why
exactly. So when you
breaking down issues.
So when you come to the bank, you have a conversation with your relationship manager where we go through your salary, we do an assessment, and then we agree and say, look, at this stage, based on how much you are earning, you can afford a property of X amount.
Let me break the issues down. Maybe I'm putting you in a box.
That's fine.
What is the minimum salary level that an individual needs to qualify for the various financing options that a bank like EcoBank would offer to me to own a place, to build, or even to rent? And there are, I don't know whether elegant will be coming to say, there are people who are even doing, you rent over a period, then you own the property as well. I don't know whether there's something of that too, but I'm just saying that for you, help me. What minimum salary level do I need for even to open a discussion with me that we can do something for you, George?
Yes, George. So the minimum would also depend on your taste and your preference. That is where we would advise.
Two-bedroom house?
No, 2-bedroom. You'd have a 2-bedroom house going for $200,000, and you can have.
I'll come to the pricing, and I just want to get that.
And you can have a 2-bedroom house going for, say, 100,000 or 200,000 cedis.
2-bedroom house in Castle. I'm not looking at a 2-bedroom house in East Legon, which I know is going to cost an arm and a leg. So sorry if I'm jumping there, but just help me. So what is that minimum salary that I'll need so that I can approach EcoBank for us to open a discussion on financing my option of getting a place?
Yes, so the key thing is that your monthly deduction, if we were to give you, say, 100,000 CD loan, and we are paying, say, 2,000 CDs a month in terms of your loan repayment, it means that you should be earning, say, a minimum 4,000 CDs to be able to make a 2,000 CD monthly repayment. That's what
what does the law say in terms of the percentage that can be deducted?
That is where I mentioned that you should not be using more than half of your income to service the loan. So that is what we do. That's why I mentioned that it's very important that people are not pressured into taking such decision, because this is a financial decision, and it's very key that you look at the space, you look at your earning and make that decision. So, for instance, George, your ultimate aim is to own, say,
an elegant home.
Yes, exactly. You look at how much you are earning now, and you realize you can't do that now. So then you take the decision: am I going to, say, rent for the next 3 years whilst I make some savings to go to elegant homes? So these are the kind of conversations we would have with you, and then help you take the decision. But it's important that you are not pressured and saying, I need to own a house now. If you can't. If you can, yes.
So the space to have that discussion is that at least you'll be having like 4,000 Ghana cedis a month. If that is right, then I can have a discussion with you.
No, I won't say 4,000. It depends on the price.
I'm just looking at the minimum, because listen, I'm just looking at the mass audience that we are engaging right now.
Yeah.
What does that person need to come to you, wishing that you will grant that person audience and know that deep within your heart will end this conversation with something on the table for you?
That person just needs to be on a regular salary.
Minimum of 4,000 Ghana cedis?
No, not a minimum. It could even be 1,000. No, 1,000 is too.
Let's be realistic here. EcoBank, 1,000 Ghana cedis, mortgage financing. So let's move on. So then, if I come with 4,000, you set aside 2,000. Then what happens next?
So no, the 2,000 is when the loan is disbursed, and you have to pay on a monthly basis. Before then, there are things like you'd have to register the property in your name, and then the bank will register its interest. This cost is separate from the cost of the building. That's why I said initially that it's very important that before you take that step, you would have made enough financial arrangements to cater for all these things. Because one, the property needs to be registered in the name of you as the customer, and then the bank will register its interests. These cost money. Two, you'd have to do your life insurance. You'd need to insure the property against any unforeseen disasters. And this would actually save you money should the unforeseen happen. So all these are things that you need to prepare for before you come over to the bank.
Does it also mean that in some education here, when it comes to this mortgage financing thing, that the bank then sometimes acquires the property in its name, and then now the contract is between me and the bank? So I'll come to Elegant Homes quickly here. When you are selling a house, I met someone at the airport, and they come there, they are selling all sorts of things. And at a point in time, when I continue to engage that person later, I said, oh, we don't do mortgage financing. We do direct cash financing. In the case of Elegant Homes, when it comes to the ownership or getting the house and all those things, what are the options? Does the bank come in to buy the house so that the contract is now between me and EcoBank? Or what happens in this case?
We also have mortgages for our clients.
Okay.
What happens is that we as developers, we deal with you as the clients, and the client deals with the bank. Okay. So assuming you want a mortgage, the requirement is that you either pay 20 or 25% as the deposit. And then the mortgage financier, if it's EcoBank, will pay the remaining 85% or 80% on your behalf, and then spread on monthly basis between 10 to 15 years or maximum 20 years. So where we come in is basically with you, the client. Once EcoBank pays us our money, we are done. The remaining part is between you and the financier.
Who owns the property then? So, for instance, is it Elegant Homes? Is it me?
No.
Or is it EcoBank?
EcoBank, because it's
EcoBank. I'll come back to you. And EcoBank, help me in that space, in this education here. That who owns that property? I decided that I need a 2-bedroom house, maybe in a Castle residential area or something. Then maybe let's say it's one of the external party interests connected to Elegant Homes. Who owns that property?
Yes, thanks, George. And I think this is a very interesting question, because you'd have people, we've had people asking this question a lot, and I think sometimes people get it mixed up. So yes, you, George, you own the property, but the bank has an interest in the property. So that's what we call it. We register the mortgage. So in as long as you are owing on the loan, you are not done paying, the bank has a lien on it. The moment you are done paying, the bank has no interest in it again. So the bank has pre-financed the building for you. You would, as she said, you have up to 20 years. In the case of EcoBank, you have up to 20 years to finish paying for it. On your 20th year, as soon as you're done paying, we discharge our interest in the property. We no longer have an interest in it. But for the 20 years, or as long as you are owing on the mortgage, it means that you cannot, for instance, sell to someone else. You cannot transfer to someone else if you have not paid the bank back in full whatever amount you have outstanding as your mortgage loan.
What is the minimum age that you require? I know that sometimes in insurance and medical insurance, they'll tell you at a certain age you don't qualify for certain things. And I'll come to you as well. As a bank again, what age do I need to, when I cross a certain line, it will be difficult to have an engagement with you? Are there any age brackets that EcoBank works with when it comes to this whole mortgage financing thing?
Okay, so minimum age, starting age is 18 years. Once you are 18, you are an adult, that's fine. If you are 18 and you are earning so much to be able to afford a mortgage, that's fine. However, the end age would say you can't take a mortgage beyond 60 years because we know the working, you have up to 60 years to go on retirement. In some cases, you have some professionals who can work for more than 60 years. Those are exceptions, but generally up to 60 years. So what we do is that we say if we are giving you a mortgage, you have 20 years to repay. Or,
that is the standard, the minimum. Yeah.
Or the number of years you have to go on retirement, whichever is shorter. So say if you were 50 years and you wanted to take a mortgage today, it means you have 10 years to repay. If you have 40 years and you wanted to take a mortgage, you can go the full 20 years to repay. If you were below 40 and you took a mortgage, it means you can finish paying for the house before you were even 60 years. And even probably maybe even take another one and then before you hit 60.
Tell me, so what are some of the options that you have for people out there in terms of the mortgage? Because there are other options you'll be looking at, that what are the other options that are available, but for the mortgage financing bit, what are the options that are available for anyone that wants to engage EcoBank?
Okay, so when it comes to home ownership, so the options for us in terms of financing, the first one, which is the very popular one, that's taking a mortgage. The second one is when the individual decides, or you look at your circumstances and you realize taking a mortgage at this time might not help. So you have cases where individuals will say, okay, let me take a personal loan, or let me take a loan that is not necessarily tied to a property, and then, as you said, develop myself. You know, and we all know that mortgages have become very popular recently.
You're telling me, because
exactly
there's a whole issue about the interest payments and people now losing their properties to financial institutions and all the rest. And it's interesting you are telling me that it's become popular, maybe based on what data that you have available to you at EcoBank.
Yes. So mortgage as an option for owning a home has become more popular in recent
banks
times.
Like yours are offering more financial products or
exactly. You know, previously, if you're a young man and you started work, the advice to owning a home, you would be told every month save money and buy some cement. And then start
iron rods,
exactly. And then you start your foundation, and it will interest you. If you go to a lot of what we call new sites, there are so many uncompleted buildings in the bush because people started things they could not end. However, with the mortgage option, what it means is that you actually get your house up front, because Elegant Homes would have completed the home. You pick your invoice, you come to the bank, you have the discussion, we pay, you move in from day one. As I said, so if you're a young professional and you took a mortgage, say when you were 30, 35 years, and you have 20 years to pay. Imagine you took a mortgage when you were 35 years and you have 20 years. So by the time you are 55, you are done paying for the house. And so for the next 5 years before you go on retirement, you're actually not going to spend money in preparing for your retirement home.
Listen, I'll be coming back to you on the whole interest payment argument and all the rest, and whether it is just about mortgage financing or I can also take the money and then build where I want to. Madam, I mean, are you worried about the concerns about the finished homes of some of these real estate companies, if I want to buy as an option, that it is expensive and it's always the middle to upper class? I mean, you are in the luxurious space. I mean, help me, not to mention anybody's name. In terms of clientele, tell me, are you getting some from the middle to lower as well?
You see, I would say that you define a niche, you create a niche for yourself. Even if you look at the automobile industry, you can see that there are different types of vehicles. That is why we have Mercedes, we have BM, Toyota, we have the smaller
Porsche.
ones. You see, so depending
Lamborghini.
Exactly. So if you are ripe for Mercedes, you go for Mercedes. If you are ripe for range, you go for range. The same applies to the houses. There are other ones that are way, way, way above, but we are into the middle income luxurious property, which means that if you are that middle class type and you want something nice, something unique that befits your status, then you can come to us. You get it?
I get you. But I mean, is it a worry for you that
it is not.
That the price is often, and the concern is that
it is not, because
you are so expensive, and sometimes people want to even do a comparison that, listen, a $3 million house, even in New York or maybe in prime areas like Kensington or Hyde Park and all the rest in London, you want to struggle to compare that price to a house in East Legon.
You cannot compare bananas with apples.
I see.
You get my point. Every area has its own way of building. In America, they build with wood. In Ghana, we build with concrete.
Why?
You and I know that, as I explained earlier, infrastructure is on the developer. Bringing water is on the developer. Even bringing some communication is on the everything is by the developer. You get it? So if I
what happens to local assemblies and all the rest that you have to go to these sites and do all these things yourself?
Because mostly the lands you buy, there are no roads, there are no drains, there are no water, no electricity. Talk to the developers and you see.
Is that your case that you have to do all these things yourself, and all those things are factored into the pricing?
Yes. So mostly, look at some of the areas people buy their lands and build. There's virtually nothing there. No road, no water, no electricity. Everything is there. Bush, security.
But you pay taxes to government as well. So then what agreement do you go with the local government, the assemblymen and all the rest to ensure? Because you are investing in an area that people are going to pay taxes, they're going to pay electricity and all the rest. Why should that cost be borne by Elegant Homes?
Ideally, it would have been very, very good and fair that when you move into an area, all those things are done. But unfortunately, that is not the case.
And that explains
so that explains that definitely when you do all this, you will pass it on to the consumer. It's as simple as that.
And Winston was telling me about how mortgage financing has picked up so much. Has that impacted on demand? Has that impacted on the ability to sell more of these houses? Or in some areas, some people are worried that we are having an oversupply in the middle class level and it was going to get to a bubble very soon. Or that's just a perception out there. From your end, we are still having demand for this middle to upper class properties that you're selling.
Yes, we have demands. You have people, that is all they need. And you see, apart from even what we do, that we have the models available, you will still have people who walk in and tell you that I want something tailored to suit my tastes. Other than that, people will not be building.
Are you just going into the finished properties? Because I know there are some real estate developers who are also giving the option of the land as well, even in certain prime areas where the gated community is there. There are portions where it's just the land and you can buy and then build to your specifications. Elegant is not doing that.
In our case, you see, we have a different
module or
a different product or offering. What we do is that, yes, clients are allowed to build, but we have to build for you. You can bring any design of your choice because we are developing a nice area. We don't want people to come in and then do anything. You get it. So in our case, yes, that option is there. You can come with your own design, or we can design something specifically to suit you. But Elegant Homes is a construction company.
I see.
We will build for you. We don't want you to bring in somebody to come and just build anything.
Tell me the offering in terms of the houses that you offer to your clients.
We have 3 and 4 bedroom detached houses. We have single stories and we have 2 stories. So the basic executive, you have, let's say, a 3-bedroom executive, you have a living and a dining area, you have a fitted kitchen with a store, you have 2 rooms with a shared toilet and shower, you have a visitor's washroom, and then you have the master bedroom ensuite. The area is nice, it's very serene. We have tarred roads, we have solar street lights, we have covered drains, we have fiber optic internet, and it's an area that is well planned.
Tell me which are some of these areas that we can find, because then the argument is...
They are located at Amrahia, Katamansu, of the Adenta Dodowa Road.
Because the argument is that the area also feeds into the pricing as well. So if you are developing a place around cantonments, airport, East Legon, it feeds in. So if some of you are going to some new areas, again, that should impact on the pricing.
It should impact.
But it's not the case.
George, you can go to an area and turn that area into a paradise. I wish.
Interesting.
I wish
Yeah.
you just project our area.
My producers are trying to get it. Yeah,
and then you see, now you are not getting the picture. Yes, we are at Amran here, but if you go there now, you want to live there.
Interesting.
Yes, everything has been carefully done.
So those who are worried that there could be a bubble, they are not right that there's oversupply in the middle to upper class space.
Well, I think they are talking about it in terms of the price. But then, even if you want to build, you see, based on experience, I've had issues where people try to build, and in fact, at the end of the day, they even spend more than they would have.
You think it's cheaper to do the real estate than to build?
No,
some will say it is debatable, madam.
It is very debatable. But
I mean, you've been in the construction industry.
Yes.
Help me out from the numbers that you see. If George Jaffe, decides to go to Amahia and build a 4-bedroom house with a swimming pool and everything, I'll end up spending more than coming to you to buy a home.
Listen to me. When you first, where you build, you may not have a road there. You may not have water there. You may not have covered drains there. You may not have street lights there. And you talk about security. You get it. And you see, people build incrementally. Sometimes if you don't have the funds sitting down, somebody can use about 16 years to build. Wow. Yes. You see, Winston talked about the fact that people can take normal loans and then start.
16 years.
Yes, 16 years. So by the time the house is being completed, the man is actually retiring. And some also start and the area is not so developed. So they are unable to move in there. So they start the foundation. They realize that nobody is there. And so they will still be renting. 10 years, that is when the area will start coming up. And then every year you have price increase, cement and everything. So calculate. You don't get to live in the house. You have started something, you are not done with it, you are renting. And then by the time you finish, you put the figures together and you realize that sometimes it's even higher. And in most cases, you start, your children are young.
We are seeing the elegant homes that Madame is talking about. These are what I'm here.
Yes.
Well, up the Adenta Dodua Road. I see.
What we have there.
I see.
Tell me. You see the interiors.
I see.
Look at it.
Interesting.
Yes. One day, come physically.
I see. I see. So these are the homes that you have.
The homes I am talking about.
Interesting.
Not the ones we see around. These are the homes. You see me?
Yeah, I see. Let me bring in Winston, and I'll still just a quick run through. And these are the homes. And it looks like they are still developing.
Yes, ongoing.
Winston, just a quick one about some few seconds. We need to take a quick break. So, in terms of the mortgage, just a quick run through how the calculations are done, because there are some also think that it's like signing a death trap. When they get into this mortgage thing, you pay and pay and pay. You will never finish paying.
No, so that is a misconception because
that is not the case of Ecobank Ghana.
It is not the case, and I can tell you, in fact, just today, we had a customer who had actually taken a mortgage, calls his relationship manager and says, "Guys, you know what? I'm actually finishing this month." He's done with his mortgage. So
it took him how many years to do that?
And he actually accelerated it. So it took him 5 years.
Interesting.
Yes. So
but there are some who think that the banks, and excuse me, I don't know the case of EcoBank, that sometimes these commercial banks deliberately drag the process so that you end up paying more for that facility than you should. So if, for instance, I want to forward to pay, the bank will put certain impediments and tell me I'll sign a contract and all the rest.
That is not the case, but I can speak for EcoBank. Okay. That is not the case, because here's the thing: whenever we give out loans, these are depositors' funds that have been given out as loans. So for us, it is in our interest to have them repaid so that the funds could be used for other things. So it is not in anybody's interest to deliberately drag a loan. So we even actually allow for early settlement with no penalty. So if you took a mortgage for, say, 20 years, and say by
I can pay in 5 years.
Exactly.
You allow me to do that.
Exactly.
Wait, you want to hold on there? We'll take a quick break. This is PM Express Business Edition to talk about build, rent, and also buy. What are the best options available to you as a consumer out there? Do you want to build, do you want to buy, or you rent? And these discussions are leading up to our Habitat Fair at the Accra International Conference Center as we talk about everything home ownership here at Joy News. We'll be right back after this break. Back to PM Express Business Edition as we have a discussion on our Habitat Fair program that is happening at the Accra International Conference Center. That is from 23rd of November, 26th of November 2023. The Joy News Habitat Fair brought to you by EcoBank as our major partner and also Elegant Homes, one of our partners. And looking at the options available, and everything home ownership will be there at the Accra International Conference Center. So don't miss this fine opportunity. You want to see those beautiful homes that Elegant Homes is talking about. Also, the financing that EcoBank is optional, given to you to own that home. As we engage these panelists here on PM Express Business, just to look at whether they should build, whether you should build, whether you should buy, or whether you should rent. And it looks like having a chat with all of you, you have actually done the equation already. It's a pure buy thing, and and that is it. But that's it. Well, we are still seeing the homes of Elegant Homes for the upper or to middle to upper classes that Madam has spoken to us about. And all these things are at Ama here.
Yeah. It's a gated estate, so all these designs are there.
Okay, not East Legon.
No.
But I'll say that if I see this, I mean, it should come at a very competitive price.
It is.
I see.
Yeah, it's very, very competitive and very affordable. You see, the theme is affordability.
It's always been a big debate out there. The whole argument about affordable housing. Is there affordable housing out there? Can we build? Looking at the cost inputs and all the rest, and help me out first on how the exchange rate has been a big challenge or a good thing for you, because then you need, tell me, how has it been challenging for you?
It has been a very big challenge because, most of the things most developers use are imported. And so when you have these fluctuations, it is not that easy. You get it. You have to import a lot of things. You pay taxes. You pay the import duties and all that. And it is not too good. Not too good.
Winston, help me quickly. I mean, so is it just about the mortgage financing? Or what else is EcoBank prepared to give to me in my option of even building as well?
Yes. So as I mentioned earlier, apart from mortgage financing, there are other routes to getting your home, that's your own home, ready for you. And so, for instance, this year, one of the products that we'll be showcasing at the fair, and even so at the mini fair, was our buy now, pay later options, which allows you to stage your development. And by this, we allow you, in partnership with some of our vendors, to get items and pay them over short periods.
So now it's after the structure is put, and after I've gotten my Elegant home, in terms of getting the television, in terms of getting all those things, that's what you are.
Exactly. Even in some cases, we even have some of our vendors who are providing key materials like your doors, your roofing sheets, your windows. Because we know, we say there's a saying in account that not all the fingers are equal. And what would take someone a year to acquire would take someone 3 years to acquire. And we realize that this is also very important for people. Home ownership is a very key thing for everybody. So we needed to be a bit more innovative in making sure that everybody is able to realize their dream. So apart from even finishing up, even in the construction phase, we have partner vendors who would even help you get to this stage where you get your doors, you pay over up to 12 months, you are done, you get your roofing sheets, you pay over a period, you are done. So you are incrementally putting up your home.
Wait, so as we try and wrap up on this discussion, and I'll be coming to get your final thoughts, and also the denomination in this mortgage thing, CD or FX or foreign currency?
So this is a very simple conversation. There's a lot of misconception on this denomination thing, and so what we do at EcoBank is, if you are earning in local currency, would give you a mortgage in local currency. If you are earning in foreign currency, would give you a mortgage in foreign currency.
Too quick one. At what rate? Then if it's city, what rate is EcoBank offering to me? If it's in dollar denominated, what rates are we looking at here?
Yes. So in both cases, CD or dollar denominated, we actually price with you in mind. So we would actually have that discussion and then make sure that whatever pricing we are offering you with regards to your mortgage is something that is definitely not going to break your back, very affordable to you. And I'm sure if you knew anybody who has taken a mortgage, they would tell you that it's been very smooth for them and very affordable as well, because we want to make sure that you as our customer, we're able to keep you. We don't want to throw your finances out of gear just because you've taken a mortgage. And we also want to make sure that myth about mortgages that once you take a mortgage, you can never repay, and then the bank would have to take over your house. Is not
and all those
exactly. And in fact, even when you take the mortgage, that's why we make sure that you are insuring the property. There's life insurance. So in the unlikely event that you pass away without having finished paying for the property, we fall on insurance to pay the outstanding, and then your next of kin gets to keep the property.
In 30 seconds. So from the financing perspective, what do you tell me? Should I build? Should I buy? Or should I borrow and rent?
So I'll tell you that look at your circumstances, look at your financial circumstances, your short-term goals, your long-term goals, your medium-term goals, how it sits with your finances. If you can afford to take a mortgage right from the onset, please go ahead. However, if it's going to be a challenge for you, there are other options that will help you still arrive at that goal.
In 10 seconds, what should you be expecting from you at the Habitat Fair next week, 23rd? What should you be expecting from EcoBank?
Yes, so this year we have some surprises coming up, and we just want patrons to come over and get their surprises. I wouldn't want to let the cat out of the bag now, but we'll just say come over there. We are bringing some of our partners there, and there will be proper discounts and very interesting goods there for you.
EcoBank, Elegant Homes, your final thoughts,
I want to encourage anybody or everyone who, as of January 2023, has made a resolution to own a property to visit us at the Accra International Conference Center. We'll be offering some discounts and giving some freebies. So come and then get all your housing needs and questions answered.
In 10 seconds, I know next week is budget as well. As a developer as well, what are your expectations in 10 seconds?
Well, we are expecting the best, and we pray that this budget will go a long way to impact on the economy and the citizens. Taxes and everything, especially import taxes and all that.
I know that debates will go on in your homes and your offices about whether you've been convinced that after this discussion you are moving to buy a home, or you still want to rent, or maybe you want to build yourself. My name is George Yafe. Have a great day. This has been PM Express.